Well, this calls for a celebration. I will.
500 subscribers. Oh my god. How did we even get here? That is a number that is just so astronomical to me, and I am just so blown away by everyone who has subscribed and commented, liked, and shared everything of mine. And so, thank you. Thank you to everyone. Welcome back to the channel. I am Black Omen, and I am recording this video to celebrate the fact that I have officially cracked the 500 subscribers threshold, which is, as I said, a number that I did not even think I would even ascertain or even to imagine I would even get to. Now, I'm officially at 530 as of this recording, but I wanted to wait a little bit to kind of wait for everyone to submit their questions, and I wanted to kind of celebrate the achievements of getting here by answering questions that you guys posted in my almost 500 subscriber video. So we're gonna take a look at them and answer them, and let's see what happens. All right, we're gonna start with Shadows in the Dark with what brought you to YouTube? Well, what brought me to YouTube simply is two things. Number one, growing up, I had a weird anxiety. It's weird, I guess you want to call it. Like seeing myself on camera and hearing my voice played back, it was like the worst thing to me. Like, I did not want to be in the vicinity of it. I would leave the room. I would put my fingers in my ears. Be like, I don't want to hear my voice. Like, I wanted nothing to do with it. So, when the pandemic started, I was like, I feel like I could use a little bit of work on myself. I know who I am. So I was like, I feel like to kind of better myself, maybe kind of get over that anxiety, maybe starting a YouTube channel would help with that. And I can honestly say it has. Being that I am 4 years in and we're doing this, and I am perfectly fine watching myself, hearing my voice, and just I find myself to be mildly entertaining, and it has also helped with seeing myself and seeing and hearing what I say, and it makes me more cognitively aware of the things I do and say. It is quite educational and entertaining, edutainment, if you will. And the other thing that brought me to YouTube was the fact that I had these ideas in my head for videos. You'd be like, hey, this would be kind of cool if someone did this. And I was like, well, rather than giving someone else the idea and the credit, why don't I do this? And it has blossomed into what you guys see here, and I do hope I grow and get better at what I do. So that way we can then achieve the next plateau of 1,000 subscribers. But we're not there yet. We're not there yet. Not even close. But thank you for the question. Let's go on to the next one. Okay. This one I like, and I'm so glad someone asked it. How did you get into RWBY, and who is your favorite character? Well, allow me to answer the second part of that. My favorite character is Ruby Rose. She is when I started watching RWBY, I was just her aesthetics, her character design was just so awesome looking, and I was just like, whoa! I am a sucker for red. So as you can tell, my gaming chair here, red and black. These are my colors that I frequently go to. And yeah, her character was just really great. and seeing that she was someone who's not a leader was thrown into a position, and she handled it really well. And just seeing how her character has evolved over time is just simply awesome. And as to how I got into it, now I know a lot of people got into the show from watching Red versus Blue, and then I think at the end of, was it season 10, they premiered one of the trailers. I had to have been the red trailer, I'm pretty sure, and everyone just was so blown away by it, and just everything about it was just so freaking cool, and then, like, people just got hooked into the show from there. But as for me, I was a little bit late to the game, to the show, if you want to call it. I was at my job, at one of my old jobs, like probably 8 years ago. Actually, no, 7, probably 7, 6 years ago, whatever, doesn't matter. I was doing shipping and receiving for this company. I had Pandora on, and I forget which station I had, and all of a sudden I hear this one song, and it was From Shadows, from the Black trailer. And I immediately, once I heard like the drum beat in that when it comes in, I was like, I'm listening. And then when you hear the guitar part come in, I was like, and then everything just happens, and it was just such an awesome song. I was like, I gotta hear more. But then later on, I heard, and this was the song that did it for me. That I was like, I'm going to check this show out. It was Red Like Roses Part 2. And I was like, oh my god, this is like an amazing song. I love it. The energy and just so good, and like just the guitar solos too are just so good. It was just like, I am in, let's do this. So when I go home, I go on to I think it was Tubi. Yeah, I think it was I had Tubi on my TV, and I was like, they had the first three volumes, and I'm like, all right, I'll do this. I watched and I remember I looked online. People said, watch the trailers first. So watch the red, white, black, yellow trailers, and I was like, okay. It got me more hyped for it. Started watching the first episode, really good. It definitely laid out what to expect from the show. I mean, considering it's an anime, but it's like a 3D style, and it has like, it's an American anime, if you want to call it, because it differs from like Japanese style, how they do it. So I binge watched the first 3 volumes for weeks, and anytime I was at home, like after work, I would just watch the first 3 seasons. And then I discovered that YouTube had volumes 4 and 5, so I was like, all right, go from the beginning, go to volume 5. And I binged, and then I started watching it on my lunch breaks at work, and then it was just like, I fucking loved the show. So I kind of came in between, right before volume 6 started. I started watching over the summer, before volume 6. So I've been a fan of the show since probably about 2018. Oh man, and I have not looked back since. All right, but thank you for the question. All right, let's go on to the next one. Okay, so I made notes. Here because I knew I was going to be answering some questions, so I had to jot down some notes here. So I have some notes here. With that being said, let's go into the next question. That question, by the way, was from Firefox. So I don't know if I mentioned or not. Okay, this next question is from Pilot 152, and it says, "What are some anime that you like? What are some favorites?" Well, I mentioned RWBY. So I will talk about more that I like. So some of my favorite animes. I grew up watching Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball GT. My friends were like obsessed with it, and I also watched Sailor Moon. Don't judge. Um, I also watched Gundam Wing, Pokemon, Transformers. If you really want to go into that realm. My friends also got me into Evangelion. That one was a really great one. The ending was just insane. I also have a soft spot for the cutesy, romantic, if you want to, into that ballpark. So I like the cheesy romance animes like Chobits. Tenchi Muyo is also a good one that I like. Assassination Classroom. I mean, it's a classroom with kids with guns trying to shoot at the teacher, who is this giant smiley face guy. I mean, what more do you need, right? I also enjoy Outlaw Star, Cowboy Bebop, and there is one that is probably one of my top favorites, and it's a weird one, so don't judge me for it. Sergeant Frog. It's a weird one, and it's one of those animes that like doesn't take itself serious, and like it has a lot of those anime tropes that are like so cliche, and there's a lot of like breaking of the fourth wall, that kind of thing, and the main character, Sergeant Keroro, who is the head of this platoon of frogs, basically. Of these alien frogs who come to Earth, and he's obsessed with Gundam Wing models. Like every so often you see him like working on a model for one, and it's just, I thought that was really kind of interesting. That was kind of cool. And then obviously I mentioned Ruby. That was just I talked about it, so I don't have to go on about it. So thank you for the question. This next question is from Fatal Fury, and it says, ROM hacks versus randomizers, which do you like playing more? Good question. I like that question. ROM hacks versus randomizers. Okay, so with ROM hacks, it's basically you're taking something that exists, and you're changing and shuffling, moving, and making it your own. So it's like taking like taking a toy. Like, so think of it in terms of like Legos. Like, you build something and someone comes over and says, okay, I'm going to take this, and I'm going to put this in here instead. I'm going to change this. I'm going to make this bigger. I'm going to make this one smaller. I'm going to do this with it. And then by the time this rehearsal is done, it doesn't even look like what it looked like in the first place. Now, with randomizers, however, is like if you take some thing of Legos and you just shuffle it all around, but you still have the same product, but everything is shuffled around, different colors, things like that. And honestly, between ROM hacks versus randomizers, I would have to go, and they're very, very close in my mind. I would probably go with a randomizer over a ROM hack, because not every ROM hack is good. I will tell you. I mean, I've talked about Final Fantasy 16 edition. I played it. I talked about it. I made a review about it, and it is by far probably the best ROM hack I've ever played. Then there's things like Chrono Trigger Plus, where it's a more simplified. It doesn't really expand too much. And that was another game I played, and it's really, really great. So to answer the question, I go with a randomizer over a ROM hack. So that's my opinion. So thank you for the question. It was a good one. It actually made me think. From Bleed Black, it says, what are some of your favorite bands? Maybe a top 10 list? Okay, cool. Thank you. Thank you for the question. Man, I have been a fan of music for as long as I can remember. Like, I grew up listening to like the Beatles, Journey, stuff that like my parents would listen to, and that was and then it wasn't until maybe like when I was like 6 or 7, I would like find music on MTV, because like it was kind of like a lot of people found out music from there. I wasn't really listening to the radio that much, aside from what was in the car. But yeah, there was basically whatever I saw on MTV is what I listened to, and there was a lot of stuff that like hooked me in, and I just became like so like enamored with like the idea of music, and just I was like, it kind of took over me and made it a part of my life, and I absolutely like. I mean, I don't think there's any person in the world like, I hate music. It's just a weird thing. But as for a top 10 list, okay, so I had to sit down and think about this. The first 5 on the list alternate changes, but I would say the latter part of the top 10 list is one that stays more consistent. So this is kind of what I came up with. Now, just because this is a top 10 doesn't mean there are bands like this is just what I like. I have a wide range of stuff that I listen to, ranging from like oldies, like from like the 70s, 80s, like the alternatives like rock of the 90s, like pop punk, hardcore, ska, like different kinds of metal, some more than others. Some pop, some country, some rap. It's my taste is all over the place. I will even sit down and listen to video game music. So that tells you a little bit of what I'm like. So my top 10, I had to jot this down. So number 10, I would say Rancid. Bullet for My Valentine. Number 9. Number 8, Funeral for a Friend. Number 7, We Are the In Crowd. Number 6, All Time Low. 5, Paramore. 4, Incubus. 3 is a tie between Rage Against the Machine and Audioslave. It's a tie between those two because Tom Morello. I love his guitar work. The guy is just absolutely insane, and things that he can do with the pedal and all these guitar effects. I was just like, my jaw. When I first heard Bulls on Parade, I was like, that's what I want to do. I want to do that stuff. But the number one reason I picked up a guitar, I'll get to. Number 2 is The Offspring, and the number 1 all-time favorite is Green Day. As I was mentioning, the reason why I picked up a guitar in the first place when I was like 6 years old was because of Billy Joe Armstrong and like listening to Green Day when I was like when I was a little kid. I think I was like 7 or 8. Actually, now that I think about it. And it was just like hearing the first song I actually heard was Basket Case, like everybody, probably like most people, and I was just like, that sounded so cool. I was just so like, out of all the bands that were playing on MTV, like Green Day was the one that like I would always like turn it up even more a little bit and start like rocking out to it. I think I remember my brother had the cassette tape for it, but then when he got the CD version of Dookie, he then was like, he's like, here, you take the cassette tape. So like every day after school doing my homework, I would alternate between Dookie and Smash from The Offspring. That like, and I would just be like, okay, take the one, and just every single day I listened to those 2 albums on repeat. And it was just like that. Those 2 bands just like so, like became part of my associated with my childhood. And because those two bands aren't exactly the most kid friendly, so to speak. Like the song Longview is basically about like jerking off and getting high. So like I knew there were certain parts in the song that I had to put the volume down a little bit so my parents wouldn't hear it, mostly my mom. And the Offspring, they have the song "Bad Habit," which is about road rage, and like that part in the bridge where he goes.
Players are rude, such attitudes. But when I show my peace, complaints see some things odd. Feel like I'm God, you stupid, dumb shit, goddamn motherfucker!
And like that was like right before the part where he goes, "You stupid goddamn motherfucker." I was like, volume down, and then like put it back up, like clockwork. It was. I timed it to the point where, I mean, in the beginning, my mom would be like, "Hey, like, don't listen to that." I'm like, so I got away with it. But yeah, thank you for the question. I appreciate it. All right, this is a good one from Soulblade. It says, outside of JRPGs, what other genres of games do you like playing? Maybe name some examples. Okay, I will name some examples. I love first-person shooters. I actually wasn't until like a few years ago. My brother got me to playing Borderlands and Borderlands 2. It was a first-person shooter with RPG elements, and I was just like, this is fucking cool. And I also enjoy platformers, like obviously Mario. You can't go wrong with that. Yeah, I also like I guess if you really want to call them Metroidvanias, it's I mean, I love Super Metroid. That's one of my top favorite games of all time. There's also Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past, my favorite Zelda game, which I have never really played much of the Zelda games after that one. I don't know why. I guess just because like that one set the bar so high that I was like, I don't know. And I was like kind of afraid that the other ones would be so overly complicated that I wouldn't be able to enjoy it. So I kind of, in a way, I deprived myself of potentially finding out other games. Of course, I enjoy like some puzzle games sometimes. Like the Tetris games. There's one when I played as a kid, Dr. Mario. That was like a kid-friendly version of Tetris that wasn't so like intense. And of course, like as I mentioned, first-person shooters. I grew up playing Doom and Quake, Wolfenstein, Duke Nukem, GoldenEye, of course. The classics. Racing games, like Mario Kart 64, Mario Kart 8, like all those kind of classic games like that. Any other genres? I don't know. I mean, aside from all of those, that's probably about it. I mean, there's not really that many genres that I don't like. So yeah, thanks for the question. It is from Battlescar. It says Marvel or DC. I guess they included a second question, which I'll get to. I'll just answer that one really easy. Marvel or DC? Marvel. For me, I'm a Marvel person. I didn't really read. I really didn't read any comic books that much. And I guess I mostly kind of go by the movies at this point. I enjoy the Marvel movies a little bit more than DC these days. I guess do I in terms of having a favorite superhero? I don't know. I mean, I love the Deadpool movies. I mean, Ryan Reynolds is just funny overall. I also loved X-Men growing up. One of my favorite X-Men was Nightcrawler and Cyclops, which was probably my two favorites. They were really cool. So yeah, as for your other question, which was, what was it again? What's your favorite TV show and movie? Sorry. You put sorry, but I bet you're not sorry. Okay. Favorite TV show and movie. Okay, that's another one I had to write down. Okay, let's split it up into categories here. Animated. My favorite my favorite animated TV show is The Simpsons. I grew up with that since I was like 4 years old, 5 years old. Um, like it was it was definitely a show that was a part of my childhood, and it's like still like I still watch it to this day. And obviously, I know everyone grumbles and groans about like, oh, it's not as good, whatever. I still find it entertaining. I watch it. As I said, The Simpsons, like, I love like the first probably first 10 seasons. I appreciate them. They're really good. The ones that are like in the latter seasons, like there's definitely good stuff in there, but like I wouldn't like hate on it. Family Guy. I loved that growing up as well. That was probably more of like a teenage years. Like I definitely, it was immediately everyone else, like everyone else, we was hooked onto that show. It was a great show that did like things different, but like at the same time it had like the same formula as like The Simpsons and whatnot. So I was like, this is funny. I like it. It's a good time, and I'm glad to see it's still going after being canceled twice. I remember when the show got canceled the first time around. I went on to different websites and I downloaded every single episode from seasons 1 and 2, and I watched it like every single day. It was just really really great. And then when it came back, I was excited for it. So, and also Futurama. I mean, Futurama was I watched it since the beginning. I can remember like it was advertised like coming up after The Simpsons, and I'm like, all right, a time traveling dude from 1999. Hell, fucking yeah, dude. Like Fry, is one of my favorite characters. But Zoidberg, like, is one of my top favorites out of the whole show. Like, for me, I always find at least one character who's not the main character who just becomes a favorite of mine, It's always like the weird ones, like as I said, Zoidberg, he fucking cracks me up. Also, I've been getting into, especially with me and my wife, we've been getting into, like Bob's Burgers, for example. Like, I just started watching it, maybe a couple of months ago. And again, I'm really, really late because they're like about season 14 or 15 at this point, and we're only up to season 12. So that show is like, I love the puns in the show, especially when the burger of the day is always like a pun, and the intros is always like the store that's next to the burger place always has a pun in the title, and like the exterminator that comes through has a pun to it, and it's just like immediately, I mean, if you have puns in your TV show that are good, I'm just like, I'm hooked. It is that's part of me, and I really enjoy the show. I also enjoy like stuff like Rick and Morty. It's like weird, stupid, funny, but has a hint of smartness, to it. Solar Opposites, same thing. It's like, when I first started watching Solar Opposites, I was like, this is basically Rick and Morty, but like different. And then after a while, they change it up and kind of make it seem like, okay, we're not Rick and Morty. It's a fun show. It's very funny. It's one of those shows I'll throw on when I get high. I also grew up watching, talking about like non-anime growing. I watched like Nicktoons, like Doug, Rugrats, a little bit of Ren and Stimpy. Ren and Stimpy was funny, but like there are times where I was like, hey, that's a bit much. Rocko's Modern Life, Hey Arnold, like those shows I loved watching growing up. They were just such fun, fun stuff to watch, and just so quotable too. Now, as for live action TV shows, I'm a big fan of improv comedy. I'll watch. I've watched Whose Line Is It Anyway for like the past 20 plus years. Even the stuff that was in the UK, like I watched, I watched that stuff. It's great, seeing unscripted, actors like doing like comedy with, and it's just, I think from watching Who's Line, I kind of fell in love with the whole improv comedy thing. It was especially like Colin Mockery, Ryan Stiles, and like everyone just working off each other, and it's fun to watch. And how can you not enjoy it? Another one I like watching is Penn and Teller Fool Us, because I love magic. Like Penn and Teller was probably the first magicians that a lot of people probably watched when they were younger, and just seeing them do it so easy and effortlessly, and so casually, it's just so amazing. And they're even like when they do their magic, they throw in comedies on top of it. It's just so fun, and just there's just such entertaining people, and I like watching other magicians try to like fool them, so that way they're like, how the hell did you do that? Which it's a great concept, and I enjoy watching it. Another show I like watching, The Blacklist. James Spader is just a great actor. I mean, the way the show ended, I have opinions, but I'm not going to talk about it. But yeah, the first 3/4 of the show are so great. And just James Spader alone like carries that show. I'm sorry. And he's just he's so great, and like some of his quips and his little one-liners here and there are just so good. He's just so really good at what he does. See, this is the Goldbergs. It's a great show. Some like stuff like the Seinfeld. I grew up. I didn't really grow up watching it. I was a little late to it. I kind of started watching Seinfeld when I was like, probably when I was like late teen years. Early adults. Because like when Seinfeld was on in the 90s, I didn't care for it. Like I was a little kid, like in like elementary school, middle school. Like I had no interest in it, and to me it kind of felt more adultish, and it was like outside of my realm of like what to watch. But then like as I got older, I kind of like appreciated the show, and I was like, oh man, I should have watched it when I was younger. But I was like, if I was younger, I probably wouldn't have watched it. And then there's The Office. I love that show. Yeah. Then there's another show, It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. That show is just such great humor, and like it's like stupid, but it's also just it kind of reminds me of like a modern Seinfeld, where there's no premise to the show. It's just a bunch of group of friends just being assholes to each other and to the rest of the world. And it's like, that's kind of what Seinfeld was. It's like a group of friends who are just assholes, but like in different levels though, like levels. And it was just like, it's just group of friends being stupid, and it's just doing weird shit, and it's like, it's simple and it's fun. I also am a sucker for singing competition shows like The Masked Singer and The Voice ish. I love music, and when there's a show that involves music and it's entertaining, I'll watch it. But yeah, that pretty much covers it. Now, as for movies, this is a lot more of a simpler list. My two favorite movies of all time: Spaceballs and Mighty Python and the Holy Grail. I mean, like, I've watched Mighty Python the Flying Circus. Like, the Mighty Python people are just like, when I watched Mighty Python the Holy Grail, it made me like kind of seek out British humor, which British humor is a lot different from American humor in terms of like being, like American humor is not subtle, whereas like British humor is. It's like you got to catch it sometimes. Like there'll be jokes that'll be like, you'll get two jokes at the same time. You'll be like, wait, what was the other thing? Oh, yeah. And so there'll be like, there's like, obviously there's some British humor that is just like over the top silly. Like, you know, it'd be like, and now for something completely different, here's a man with a tape recorder up his nose. And it's like, okay, you're a little too silly for me. And that's the thing, that's probably the only criticism I will have about British humor sometimes. That is, when it's good, it's good. But like, when it's like the dry humor, that stuff's good. But when it gets a little bit over the top silly, where it's kind of like nonsensical, and I'm like, all right, okay, you're trying too hard. Sorry for that tangent, but I just wanted to talk about that. So, again, thank you for the question. That was a good one. Okay, from Lord of the Pit, if you play or played Magic the Gathering, what is or was your favorite color combo or theme deck to use? Good question. Okay, so again, I had to make notes for this one. Now, I played Magic growing up as a little kid. It was just one of those things that I saw my brother and my cousin playing, and I would watch them play it, and just like all the different cool, creature types and all the different abilities they have, and it was such an interesting thing, where it wasn't just like, oh, like I got this, boom, 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 you're done. No, it was like such fun. Like even the colors and the different combinations you can make. It was so like awesome just watching someone play. I mean, if you're not into it, you would find it boring. But as for the theme decks that I would make, now I have 3 favorites that I had. My third favorite was a black and blue deck that I called my Kill deck, which basically it surrounded the premise of it was using Icy Manipulators and Royal Assassins. The Royal Assassin is a card where if a creature is tapped and you tap it, that creature dies. So the Icy Manipulator is that you pay 2 mana, I think it is, and you tap it, and then you can tap a creature or anything that's on the field, and basically that would be in a setup to use your Royal Assassin and tap that and then kill a creature. So I kind of use that as an advantage. My second favorite deck, which at first I hated it when people used it on me, but once I started using it, I was like, oh, here we go. It was a sliver deck. Now slivers are like a kind of like a worm creature, and basically the premise and idea with slivers is that each sliver card would have a like all slivers get blank. It would be like all slivers get +2/+2, all slivers have haste, all slivers have flying. So it would be like if you put one out that has +2/+2, it would then be like a 2/2. It would be like a 4/4 with flying and haste and all these other features, because all the other ones would like give other ones abilities. And to that point, it was just like once you build a monster army, you can basically take on anyone, but you have to get it right. And as for my favorite deck, it was a red-green deck. It was a Trample Haste deck, where all the creatures that I had in the deck would be like sacrificed at the end of turn. So like with a 3-drop, you can get like a 6/1 creature out with Trample and Haste, and you can just do like big damage like very early on, And it didn't really matter like if the person defending like would kill it, because it would die at the end of turn. So like it's kind of a very quick deck, where it's like if you didn't bring out a creature, you would have a lightning bolt to do 3 damage. So you kind of like, or if you had a fireball on there, and it's kind of just like you have to build up on it, and it's like you're kind of just, the whole premise is to kind of take out your opponent very, very quickly. And I really love that kind of combination. So thank you for the question. That was a good one. Had to make me think about that one. From Blast Beat. Do you have any hidden talents or something weird you can do with your body? And also, question 2, favorite comedians. Gonna get to that one. Hidden talents or weird things I can do with my body. My goodness. Well, okay, there are 2 things that are weird that I can do with my body, and I'm gonna see if I can try to kind of emulate it. This is a thing I can do with my wrist. It's kind of weird, but I guess I could try to put it up to the microphone, see if you guys can hear it. Hold on, wait. See if I can do this. Sounds like it hurts, but it actually doesn't. Yeah, I can make a popping sound with my wrist. I'm pretty sure it's not healthy, but it's a thing I can do, and I've been doing for quite a while to kind of like show people, and it's like, I don't know. The other thing, I don't want to show it because it's kind of weird, but I can do like this thing with my tongue where I can like kind of shoot saliva, I guess, like not like that, but it's kind of just like if I push my tongue and it kind of just shoots a little bit out. It's weird, but I'm not gonna really show it. But anyway, it's one of those things you kind of have to take my word at it. But yeah, as for favorite comedians, okay, so favorite comedians, I am a big fan of like the one-liner comedians, you know. Like, I mean, I also love the ones that have like, you know, that have like long drawn out stories that are very funny. As long as you're funny when you tell them, it's great. So my favorite comedians, my top 2 favorites are Mitch Hedberg and Demetri Martin. Mitch Hedberg, as you know, rest in peace. He was like a one-liner comedian, which he was probably, you know, I'm guessing he was probably inspired by like, you know, Stephen Wright, who was probably the first comedian that I probably heard that did a lot of the one-liners. You know, he had like a very dry tone to his voice, but like he was very funny. As for like for Demetri Martin, he is like really good with, you know, the one-liner comedy. He's very, very smart. He also plays guitar while he tells jokes sometimes. He does like he'll do like he'll take like a pad of paper or something and kind of like draw on it to kind of add to a joke that he's telling.
My friend was involved in a love triangle. He liked this woman, and this other guy also liked the woman. But I tried to explain to him, that's a love angle that you're in. You're involved in a love angle, man. For it to be a love triangle, the 2 guys also have to have something going on. Now you got 3 vertices, that's a love triangle. And that's an orgy.
And like he's just a really funny dude. Like he one time wrote a really long story, but it was all one giant palindrome. Which, if you don't know what a palindrome is, it's when a sequence of words, of letters, or whatever, a sequence, could be numbers, is the same forward as it is backwards. Like, you know, for example, rise to vote, sir. It's the same sequence forward as it is going backwards. So he did this one thing where he told a story, wrote it out and he typed it out. And when you look at it, it's kind of like, what the hell is this? But you realize that it is one giant palindrome, and I'm like, that is so like smart, but like crazy at the same time. Also, like Christopher Titus, like he is, like if you ever watched his show Titus, which also I watched, you know, growing up. One of my favorite bits that he does is the anti-dad bit. Like me and my friend Dan, when we were younger, we used to have like the anti-dad bits down like that. You know, he'd be like,
the most negative superhero on the planet, anti-dad. Wherever there is hope, I will stop it. Where self-esteem rears its shiny head, I will be there to kick it in the testicles. Hey, Dad, I got a B on my report card, but it's not an A day, is it, son? And now that the smile has left your face, I'm off.
And because he talks a lot about his family in his stand-up. And it was kind of like what made his TV show popular was that he talked about his family, and like a lot of his, I don't think there's any embellishments, because like the way he described his dad was very much like that's who he was. He was a womanizer. He did, like, he got in trouble with the law, and like he been divorced so many times, and like he would manage to take all these tragic things and tell it to you in a funny way that it would be like, holy crap, that's funny. I do like Dane Cook. I mean, he's not my top favorite, but he is funny. I especially like some of his earlier stuff. I would say is probably, I find a lot more funny. Brian Regan is probably one of my favorite comedians. The dude's still going. One of my favorite bits is actually two of them actually. One of them is the YouTube bit where he goes like when you go to like the restaurant and they bring you your food and be like, here, enjoy your food, like, and then like as instinctively you'll be like, you too, and it's like, oh shit, now I look like an asshole. And my other favorite bit that he does is like where like he's like, oh, when he was younger he like entered into I'm pretty sure it's not a true story, but it's probably like some embellishment. Where like he would be like he had a science project and he didn't do it, so then like the night before he would just get a cup and put some dirt in it to make it seem like he actually did something, and be like, oh, well, what is this, Brian? He's like, it's a cup with dirt in it. And then like there'd always be like that one kid up at the who did like the solar system that like everyone has done at some point. And it's just like the part where he goes like, where like the kid's like, oh, tell us about what this is, and the kid goes like, the big yellow one's the sun. Oh man. I also love Gabriel Iglesias, or Fluffy, as some people call him. The dude's hilarious. He's great with storytelling, especially the stuff that happens in his life. He's like, obviously, I think one of his best bits is the one where he gets pulled over by the police with his friends, and like he and so like they're messing with the police, and like there's this one point where he's like, oh, I have the Bad Boys soundtrack on, let me put it on, and he sees like the cop walking over to his car, and like he'll play the theme song to Cops, and he'd be like, the guy's walking to the beat, and it's just it's hilarious. Okay, so I also, speaking of hilarious comedians who are storytellers and who are smart, George Carlin, dude is like, if he was alive today, I swear to God, he would be ripping like politicians left and right a new asshole, like to the point where they have 3 of them, like that's how good he is. And he is Carlin, he was like so damn funny, and he was like especially like early on in his career, he was like, he like one of his famous bits would be like the 7 words you can't say on TV or something. What made him so damn good was that he was not afraid to go anywhere with his comedy, and he was just, I think like a lot of people saw him as like just someone who would be like, he's right. I definitely feel like he opened up people's minds, or at least like if you disagreed with him, he would do it in a way where you're like, I disagree, but I can see your point, and it's kind of like, in a way, he was he opened up a lot of minds, and he was definitely someone I feel like he was ahead of his time. That's for sure. Robin Williams, great, hilarious, rest in peace. He was probably one of my favorite actors growing up. I mean, aside from the stuff that he did on TV and like in movies, like his comedy was just so like he was himself on stage, like doing bits, and it was just like that's him, you know. It's like, it's not like it was like he would be a different person off stage. Like, yep, what you see on stage is what you get, you know. That was part of his whole thing, you know. I mean, Richard Pryor was hilarious. And don't forget, like, there are women, you know, comedians I like too. So it's not just this one big sausage fest here. I mean, there's also Eliza Scherzinger and Taylor Tomlinson, who are like very funny comedians for today, you know, like for the modern age. Like they are great storytellers, and they're very, very funny women. They're not like the kind of like comedians who were like the kind of ones that you'd be like, okay, the cliche ones that they're gonna talk about this, they're gonna say that, and it's just like they're just really funny comedians who are just really good at what they do, and they're great storytellers, and I absolutely love it. And also, you know, harping back to like British, you know, humor. There's one comedian, Jimmy Carr, who is he's hilarious, he's weird, but like a lot of people don't find him, like, the only thing they kind of like turned off about him is that like his laugh, because if you've seen his comedy, you kind of know his laugh by now. He goes like at some of his jokes where he's laughing at his own jokes, which kind of like it gets a little like especially if it does it a lot in terms of 1 hour. But he's great. He has a lot of good one-liners. He's hilarious, and he does like he has like different styles he'll do on stage where like he can do like his one-liners, and then like he'll do like a thing where he'll be like, "Oh, I put this into the magazine and sit and kind of see if they respond," you know. Or like he'll see something in a magazine, like a column, like an advice column, and he'll respond to it and read his answer, you know, on stage. He's a weird dude. Another great comedian is Patton Oswalt. He is hilarious. He's a very funny dude. I mean, he can't. I don't think there's anything I've seen him in that I did not enjoy. So he's just a very funny dude. He's very smart, very, very like on top of his shit. You know, it's just like he's kind of one of those comedians that I could feel like he could probably go for another like 15, 20 years and still be funny. But as an old guy, you know. So thank you for the question, and I'm sorry for a tangent. But anyway, let's move on. Genshin Tenshin asked, I assume you play Genshin Impact. Who is your favorite character or characters to use? That's an easy one. My main four to use in Genshin are Yanfei, Kaya, Xingqiu, and Razor. Yanfei, she's very quick, you know, with the fire attacks. Kaya, I like using him because like his ice attack. If you're on, you can do which is what a lot of people did from the very beginning of Genshin, when they started playing Genshin, is that they would use Kaya to go across large bodies of water, which took a long time, but like. You can basically use him to make an ice bridge, basically, and go across large bodies of water to avoid enemies. It's really smart and really cheesy, but you know, it is what it is. Xingqiu is really great. I started like getting to use him more often, and Razor is just is powerhouse, man. Like his electric attack, and he's just like he kind of in a way. In a way, he kind of reminds me of Gao from Final Fantasy VI, but like if he was like use electric, you know, attacks instead. So thank you for that question. Malicious Intent asks, what are some YouTubers or podcasts that you listen to in your free time? Okay, let's start with the YouTubers, of course. Now, for everyday entertainment, I watch Good Mythical Morning. GMM, the Link and Rhett, those guys are are fun, they're funny, and they are just so entertaining to watch. It's just like, it's really kind of cool seeing they're like these two guys who've been friends since like elementary school, and now they're in their 40s, and it's just kind of cool just seeing like the fact that they were friends as like really little, and then like 30-40 years later they're still friends. It's like, damn, man. Also pitch meetings, I love watching the pitch meetings channel. Ryan George is a hilarious dude, which he has a second channel where he does all these comedy skits. He's more known for his pitch meetings, where he takes movies and he'll do kind of like a pitch meeting, like with he's the writer, but also he plays the role of the producer guy, and he kind of goes through the whole back and forth and kind of breaks down movies, but also like in hilarious, interesting ways. It's pretty funny. He does comedy skits on his regular channel, where like a lot of them are like the first person to blank, first person to do this, and he kind of does it in a funny way. Another YouTuber that I watch is called Scammer Payback, with this guy. His name Pierogi. He's on Twitch. And he basically, it's fun to watch because he's a hacker, and he goes after like scammers who've like scammed people out of money and whatnot. And it's just fun watching him like methodically like mess with these people, and watching these people get like so pissed off at him. Because what happens is, what he'll do is he'll call up these scammers and try to be like, oh, they'll play along with, he'll play along with them, and then while he's playing along with it, he's fucking getting into their system and like just messing with them. It's so fun to watch, and also interesting that he's doing that kind of stuff to like. He's also has helped people get their money back and stuff. It's really cool. Another one I like to watch is Johnny Two Cellos. He breaks down certain TV shows. Like he did Futurama not too long ago. And it's just fun and kind of interesting seeing how he breaks down the episode and stuff like that, in case there's stuff you may have missed. As for music, I watch the Punk Rock MBA, which is this guy Finn McKenty, which he also has a secondary channel where he, for his streams and everything. He mostly does videos about metalcore, hardcore. No, not hardcore. Like, I'm trying to think what the hell it's called. Like bands like Limp Bizkit, like all the stuff that we listened to in like the late 90s, early 2000s. Like that's the kind of the window of stuff that he talks about. Which I can tell from watching his streams that he really hates, but he says like that's what the people watch, so he keeps making videos about bands, and it's like that's what they like, so that's what he keeps doing. He's a funny guy. He's a little snarky, so he's also sarcastic. It's kind of interesting, kind of funny. And as for another musician that I watch on YouTube, my friend Kyle. He has a YouTube channel called Average Guitar Player, which, don't let the name fool you. This dude is like miles ahead of like my guitar skills. Like, he's on a whole nother level. He's really good. He's taught me a few things about how to play guitar and stuff. So I give credit to him. Definitely check out his channel. Now, as for Ruby content, I watch Murder of Birds. He's like probably one of the first. He's probably one of the first people who actually made me want to do this, like be on YouTube and do videos. He, like, watching him, he just made it look so much fun and easy. Well, not easy, but he made it look like a lot of fun to do. And seeing his Ruby content, like he does reactions to it. He'll do discussions about it, and he's really smart. He will kind of catch things like that you probably didn't notice. Also, Mercury Black. Mercury Black is a Ruby YouTube channel that kind of does like these like funny little shitposty videos kind of thing. It's kind of funny. Eruption Fang is actually the first YouTuber that I watched since watching Ruby, and I really enjoyed his videos. Something that he talks about the show, and like, he covered like I like watching his breakdown of all the episodes. I noticed more towards like volume 7 and 8 that he kind of like started not liking the show and the direction it was going, and he didn't even bother covering volume 9, which understandably people have their gripes or whatever. He's still a fun guy. A lot of stuff that he covers on his channel is pretty interesting. Also, Phoenix Knight. Phoenix Knight is a very smart guy. He'll break down Ruby episodes and theories and kind of just talk about them. He's really smart. Now, as for video games, Murderer Birds Impact, which the other guy who does Ruby also does gaming on a separate channel, especially with Genshin Impact and things like that. He's fun to watch, and especially if I ever need like any help figuring something out in Genshin, I'll watch his videos and kind of be like, oh, okay, that's how I do it. Another one, SNES Drunk, seeing him talk about and kind of like give evaluations of Super Nintendo games, Sega games, and all these other obscure games that you probably never heard of that you'd be like, what the hell is this? And there's actually stuff that he's covered. Especially one game, Terranigma, that I actually found out from watching his channel. That I didn't know that game existed. So yeah, dude's pretty funny. He's pretty witty, sarcastic at times. Another one I watch is Pro Jared. So I just love watching his playthroughs of certain games, certain ROM hacks and things like that, because like I can definitely tell he has like that same appreciation for RPGs and things like that, and even like regular games that are not RPGs. So he's pretty cool. He's fun to watch. I also like watching Did You Know Gaming. I kind of just anytime I want to find out or learn something new about certain video games, and I'm like, oh shit, I didn't know that. Another one, Che Plays. You can check him out. He does playthroughs of different video games. And also, there's one guy. His name is was it Two Tone Tony? I think his name. He's a pretty cool dude. He plays a lot of Beyond Chaos, which is how I found out about Final Fantasy VI Beyond Chaos in the first place. He loves Chrono Trigger, which I have appreciation for. He plays Secret of Mana. He does a lot of like ROM hacks and randomizers. He did a playthrough of Final Fantasy 3, the not 6, but like Final Fantasy 3, which I never played it, but like seeing him play it, I was like, you know what? I'll have to check it out. I'll give it a chance, But he covers a lot of like ROM hacks. He has. I think I found out about him from Final Fantasy XVI Edition, and I think a lot of his subscribers found out about him from the same way. And the thing is with his content, like he has a lot of replayability, but like rewatching. It's not like it's one of the things where it's like, oh, I watched it once and I'm done. It's like I can go back and watch it over and over and over. He's entertaining, he's a lot of fun, and he has a cat. So again, you can't go wrong with a dude and a cat. So he also has a channel that he covers fighting games. Mostly he's been playing this game called Melty Blood. If you're into fighting games, check out his channel, Brave or Grave. He's pretty cool. He's very good at fighting games. Now let's move on to the next question. California Corrupted, my buddy Josh. What is your favorite Pokemon of all time? Well, and also he has a follow-up. What is your favorite band or artist? What is your go-to album for this artist? I already talked about my favorite bands and artists. As for go-to albums for the bands, for Green Day, it's always Dookie and American Idiot. Those are two I will always go back to. The Offspring, Smash is always a fun time. Rage, any album. Audioslave, the very first album, they're self-titled. That one's always great. Incubus, mostly with them, I would probably say Make Yourself and Morning View are my two favorite albums from them. But I also, not as much, but I would also say that Science is a great album too, very underrated. Paramore, a lot of their stuff from their first few albums are great. But like some of their newer stuff, not really that big a fan of, but yeah, it is what it is. All Time Low, any album really. My favorite album from them, I don't know, it's really hard to pick one. But yeah, mainly there's probably one album I don't really care for. It's Last Young Renegade. We Are the In Crowd, they're pretty much the same thing. Any album from them is great. Funeral for a Friend, again, like any album, but my personal favorite from them is Casually Dressed and Deep in Conversation. Bullet for My Valentine, The Poison is a top favorite for mine. Rancid, probably say Out Come the Wolves, obviously a top favorite. Indestructible is rather underrated too, in my opinion. But as for favorite Pokemon, I am a big fan of the fire types. So my favorite is actually Charmander. And then there's Vulpix, and then Flareon. My three favorites. So I'm a big fan of the fires. So thanks for the question, Josh. Okay, now we have one from Twisted Fate. Since you play guitar, do you have a favorite to play? And also, do you have a dream guitar? Yes. Okay, so my favorite guitar. Hold on, let me go get them. Let me go get my guitars. I'm gonna start with this one here. This is my Fender Strat. Wow, needs a little bit of tunage, but this was my dad's guitar, and he gave it to me, and I've been, I don't. This is not usually my my go-to guitar when I want to play, but usually once in a while I'll plug it in and jam out to it. Again, it needs a little bit of work, mostly like in the pickups and stuff like that. Yeah, it's a cool guitar. Now, this one is probably my favorite that I like to play. Because the design all in itself is really cool. My wife got it for me quite a few years ago. Yeah, it sounds really cool. I don't know. I don't know if I should plug it in or not. I don't know. But either way, I think I might plug it in. This is my favorite guitar to play, the Epiphone. Yeah, I like how that one sounds. Yeah, that one I like because it has like a much crisper sound. compared to my next guitar. Now this guitar here is another Epiphone, the Epiphone SG. This one I got from my friend Kyle that I mentioned before, and he sold it to me for like $50. The stickers did not come included. I put the stickers on myself, and clearly I got a little carried away with it. You know, because I got like, you know, Funeral for a Friend, Vendetta Red, you know, Peter Griffin, Taking Back Sunday, you know, My Chemical Romance, you know, Lit. So that kind of shows you where my head was at when I got it. But yeah, this one has more of a, like, I want to say like a grittier kind of sound. That's a little bit more like, more. Yeah, it has more like a grab you by the balls and twist kind of sound to it. That's the best way I can describe it. It's got a lot more like grit to it, you know. Anyway, so yeah, this one is a great guitar. I enjoy playing it when I want to play. I usually, like, the other one I usually kind of go for when I want to play like something that's more pop punky versus something like this when I want to play something a little bit heavier, you know. So it has like more of a grit to it. I have a bass as well. Wah! Hooah! The Dean. I'm not much of a bass player. This was actually my friend Rich's bass. BC Rich. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, this was actually his bass, and he lent it to me when I was recording some music. And I was like, I should probably give it back to him. And I kind of didn't. And I've been holding it hostage for like, it's going on like 15 years. So now it's my bass now. Woo! Yeah. Moving on to the acoustic part of the show. This is one of my first acoustic guitar I got quite a few years ago. Probably about 20 years ago. Which again, I covered in fucking stickers. Because I went to Warped Tour a bunch of times and I had a bunch of stickers, especially going to a bunch of shows. Which again, you can see where my head was. I got like Quiet Drive, My Chemical Romance, the F-Ups, Mudvayne, Simple Plan, Billy Talent, Streetlight Manifesto, Something Corporate, Mest, and Yellow Card, and Vendetta Red. So yeah, this is one a great guitar. It just needs a little bit of work because the neck is kind of cracked there. Yeah, I mean, it will get a fix eventually one day. My favorite acoustic guitar that my wife got me. I think it was back in 2014. No, sooner than that. It just needs a little bit of tunage. Badly. But yeah, so that one was an Ibanez. This is one of my favorite guitars to use. But anywho. And to answer the next question, do I have a dream guitar? Well, I would have to say a Gibson Les Paul with a cherry sunburst. That is probably my my dream guitar. It just looks really cool and just so awesome. So awesome. Thank you for the question. Thank you. And our last, but definitely not least, we got a question from Starfire Wisp, aka Two Tone Tony. Thank you for the question, dude. I appreciate it. He says, I'm gonna give you a right back at you and ask, which one of your videos are you most proud of? Well, I am so glad you asked. Now this one has a couple of answers to it. Number one, right off the bat, I have to say the one that I am the most proud of is my Final Fantasy Connections video. Now, I'm not just saying that because as of right now, it has over 11,000 views. Honestly, I am most proud of that one because to me, I felt like it was the most unique idea that I came up with. Because at the time, when I was first starting out, I was just doing like top 10 videos. And I mean, everybody and their mom does top 10 videos. But I was like, what is something that no one's thought of? And this one required a lot of research. I typed into YouTube and I was like, does anyone thought of this? I did Final Fantasy, Connections, anyone do anything like that? Nobody had done this. And I was like, okay, so my idea was that I wanted to do a video pertaining to Final Fantasy and how they all connect. Because obviously they are not connected. They're all each like standalone, games that are not really connected canonically. But I was like, you know what? How would they be connected if they were? So this one required the most research for any of my videos. I had to do research on Final Fantasies 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, all the way through I think 15 or 14, and I was like, wow, like there was a lot of stuff that I looked up, and it was like, okay, this is interesting. How there are little things that do connect certain Final Fantasy games. They're not all connected in terms of like time-wise. But there's things you can take from Final Fantasy 4, you can connect it to 6, considering all the fact that like Gilgamesh has been in different Final Fantasy games, and so he's kind of travels from different universes. And the idea of espers, summons, all the idea of them have been consistent for most of the Final Fantasy games. So even though there's the theme of the summons and espers, whatever you want to call them, have been like all through different Final Fantasy games, they are still a central theme. And there's a lot of things that I remember researching, and I was like, this is really cool. You can in fact connect certain games. Especially like Final Fantasy 10 and 7, I think I remember I was reading about, and how like Shinra is in Final Fantasy 7, and there's a Shinra in Final Fantasy 10. So like in a way you can kind of make that connection to them, so to speak. So I thought that was kind of interesting. Another video that I am also proud of, also has got a decent amount of views, is my Ruby and Genshin Impact crossover. Because being at the time when I made the video, I was like very heavily into Genshin, and I was watching Ruby and stuff like that, and I was like, Ruby has been featured in so many different games. I was like, what would it be like if they were featured in Genshin Impact? And again, this was a video that no one really did. There was maybe like things to be like, okay, this is what they like. People try to render like what they would look like, and didn't really make much sense. But like the way I broke it down, I was like, I took every single character in the show, and I was like, what would they be like if they were in Genshin Impact? And I assigned them a weapon that they would use. I gave them like an element that they would be associated with. So it's like, I thought that was really cool, and it was like, I'm surprised at how many views it has gotten over the past couple of years. So yeah, actually, wow, 1 year, cool. And also another one, I am again, this is not a surprise, but I am actually kind of proud of the fact that the Final Fantasy VI Beyond Chaos, what is Beyond Chaos video took off rather quickly. I remember when I posted it, and I was like, you know, I'm not gonna expect a lot out of it. Maybe like a couple of hundred people are gonna look at it. It like within like a day or two, it took off very quickly. Got up to like a couple of like 1,000 or so very quickly. Got a lot of like subscribers out of it, and I'm like, you know, if I can spread the message of Beyond Chaos to other Final Fantasy fans or just RPG fans, then I feel like I have done the Lord's work. Oh man. So yeah, that covers it, you guys. That is all the questions. That's all of them. So I want to thank everyone. I want to thank everyone who is subscribed. So before I go, I just want to thank some of my subscribers, the more recent ones: Anthony Utley, Andrea Denowitz, Cole Reed, Irish Wolf, Jacob Mendoza, Truth Trill, Chris Booth, Gareth Watkins, Cal Jen, Champion 987, Donald Anderson, Raymond Cluis, Polly Love, Jose Ruiz, Jenna Vital, Janie Castro, Sarah Murga, Josh Howardson, Elijah Hoffman, Cinnamon Roll, Austin Strawn, Jarvis Brown and Cobra Jack, Douglas Gear, Sniper Mitt, just to name a few. And of course, I cannot forget the people who have been around and hanging around in the chats and the comments. I want to thank California Corrupted, my friend Josh. Sorry about that. The video got cut off at the end there, but I just wanted to finish up the ending here. I want to also thank Two Tone Tony for promoting me on your channel, telling people to check out my channel and my content. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. And I also want to thank my friend Nick for being very supportive, just being really chill, and always just coming in and hanging out in the live streams and comments. Always having positive things to say. So thank you, dude, so much. I appreciate it. So again, thank you guys for watching. This was absolutely amazing and a lot of fun. I hope you guys learned a lot. Hope you learned a lot about me. So if you guys want to check out any content, any of my streams, you want to check out, hang out with everyone else in the Twitch streams, you can find me at twitch.tv/BlackOmen219. And also, I'm also on Twitter/X for some reason. If you want to, come say hi or whatever it is you guys want to do, or chat or whatever. But yeah, I will see you guys in the next one. See ya.